We're living in a world where there are more problems than solutions. A raging pandemic, climate change, aging, cyber breaches. The list goes on. My name is Germaine Tan, and in this series, I and fellow millennial Ching Shu-yi will be meeting people our age
This is about,
who think they've got the answer to these problems.
Let's do it!
In this episode, we have waged a 5-decade war on waste to become one of the cleanest, greenest metropolis in Asia.
Our island is dotted with recycling points, and our homes come with neat little rubbish chutes. Our roads are squeaky clean. Put simply, when it comes to waste, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So surely we deserve to sit back and celebrate. No way, because Singapore's got a dirty little secret.
Singapore can't stop producing waste. In fact, it's doubled over the last 2 decades. To make matters worse, we suck at recycling plastics, food, and textiles, lagging far behind many countries worldwide.
I'm ever the optimist, and Singapore's got a track record of rising to the challenge. So I'm gonna hunt down some of our brightest young innovators who are leading the fight back in this waste war. But can they triumph over our trash?
Oh, black, you don't want her.
Since I was 6, I've noticed these blue recycling bins all over Singapore. These bins are meant for paper, metal, plastic, and glass. But most of the time, even when we think we're getting it right, we're often getting it completely wrong. So I want to know, what are our bin sins? There's only one way to find out. I'm installing a hidden camera in one of these recycle bins. It's been 24 hours, so it's time to review my trash cam.
So let's see what we have here. Someone just threw a cup of coffee in. There's a chance that that might have kind of contaminated the other trash inside. Oh! Someone just threw tissue paper in there. Tissue paper cannot be recycled. Did someone just throw? What is that? Is that a cigarette pack? This is worrying. I feel like half of this bin is now not able to be recycled.
In a recent survey, 7 out of 10 Singaporeans confess to having no idea of what to recycle. But there is hope. I've heard about a local group who've invented a new way to deep clean discarded plastics. And you won't believe it. They're just 11.
First, we put the hose inside the plastic. Next, we on the microbit. After that, we activate the water pump.
Oh!
We took this water from our rainwater tank in our school.
How long does it take to, clean one can or one bottle?
10 seconds. After it's being washed, we will push this open so that it can drop into the collection area.
So when they are in this area, that means that they are ready to be recycled.
Yes.
So has it increased recycling rate in your school?
Yes, as more of the students will bring recyclables from home and they will use this prototype to wash their recyclables.
So I've got a bag of stuff that can be recycled here. Can you guys help me with this? Yeah? Okay. All that remains to be seen is whether the recyclables are now clean enough for the recycler to actually take and to process them.
I've invited Jade Low to meet the wishy-washy crew. Jade owns a waste management and recycling facility that processes plastic waste into useful raw materials. Jade knows exactly how clean plastic must be before it can be recycled.
So Jade, what do you think? Has the machine done its job?
Yes, I'm pretty amazed. The cup came out really clean. Ideally, if you could have it nice and dry, would be actually the best that we can receive. So the plastic material be ready for recycling.
Last year, March, version 2.0 of the Wishy-Washy was born. This time, the team wants to add AI to separate plastic bottles from metal cans and spray them with water. Once cleaned, hot air jets blow dry the items before they can be collected for recycling.
We are still in the designing stage here and looking for expert others to incorporate AI into our second prototype.
How much, plastic can version 2 actually be recycling?
In a year, we will save about 52,000 plastic bottles and 52,000 metal cans.
There are so many advantages to recycling plastic waste. It can be turned into snazzy clothes and shoes, buildings, and even roads. We're planning to spend $100 billion on land transport projects in the next 10 years. Roads are a major part of that plan, but building roads requires a huge amount of materials. Now, what if there is a way to use recycled plastic to build our roads? I'm meeting final year SMU student Oh Chu-Xian. She has developed a game-changing innovation.
It was actually through my experiences in the construction industry. I thought that the industry wasn't innovating at all, especially the road construction side. After years of R&D, we found that we actually have a plastic waste solution on our hands.
In 2019, Singapore discarded 930,000 tons of plastic. A measly 4% was recycled, leaving vast amounts of wasted plastic to be incinerated.
So why did you decide to use plastic as construction material?
I think it's one of the core material of road construction is bitumen. It's a crude oil derived product. Plastics derived from crude oil as well. So once we managed to figure a way to reverse engineer it both chemically and mechanically, we managed to make it compatible for road construction. Plastic is one of the most hardy material around, and being UV resistant, flexible, lightweight or waterproof, it makes the roads more durable by up to 3 years.
Well, I'm excited to see the site, so let's go. So is this a genuine tech that can be actually rolled out in Singapore and all across the world too?
Yeah, as long as you have road, as long as you have plastic waste, it can be rolled out. And it actually is already cheaper than the current mix. Yeah, so I think once there are economies of scale, once we roll out commercially, it will definitely be a lot cheaper.
Chu-Xian's innovative technology breaks down plastic waste into either powder, shreds, or pellets before adding them to bitumen. This mix is then poured over stones and pebbles to create asphalt, which is used to pave roads.
So this road that we're walking on right now actually has waste plastic incorporated in it, which was built just 2 months ago.
What kind of plastic actually makes for good construction material?
So we can use most plastics such as plastic bags, straws, milk cartons, all the hard ones, depending on the type of road as well. So let's say if it's super heavy industrial use, so we'll need plastics which are slightly more flexible so that it doesn't crack.
In fact, Chu-Xian's brought me a sample of her recycled road, and we're going to put it through a durability test.
Ready? You look nervous.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Let's do it! Okay, well, I think it's just the sides, but the integrity of it is still there. So the last test is I'm gonna sit on it. No, I'm just kidding.
There's another driving force behind our plastic problem, but this one's deeply ingrained in our national psyche. So is it too late to change our minds and our taste buds?
gentlemen, in front of me here is a mountain of disposable cutlery. This is the stuff you get from hawker centers, you get when you tap out your food. How many pieces do you think there are in this entire mountain?
20,000?
20,000. You are wrong. 57,000. Now, how long do you think it takes for us Singaporeans to dispose this amount of cutlery?
Within a day. 1 day.
It is 1 hour.
That's ridiculous. Within the hour.
I never thought it would be so short.
For something that gives us such a short burst of food heaven, plastic cutlery takes a long time to decompose. Nearly 1,000 years. Singapore alone throws away nearly 500 million pieces of plastic cutlery every year. But what if you could dispose of them by eating them? Singaporean Anna Lam is the mastermind behind this edible cutlery revolution. Anna's spoons are packed with nutritious superfoods, and they come in 7 different flavors, including strawberry, matcha, beetroot, and spice.
We know that Asians do love their flavor palette, so we do make our spoons taste attractive, such that a little bit of flavor will go into the food, but our intention is never to overpower the food.
So what do you think is the biggest challenge in weaning Singaporeans off of single-use plastics?
So I think the first thing is to get over the mental block of eating your own cutlery, because it's still a new concept. So right now we are in the educational phase, where we are pushing a lot of marketing campaigns, normalize the idea.
But how do you make cutlery that are sturdy and yet tasty? Anna is going to show me what it takes to be able to bake my spoon and eat it too.
It's exciting. So can you eat it raw like that?
Please don't.
Okay. Please don't. But where did you even know how to make this in the first place?
I was first inspired by a recipe for hardtack. It's super hard form of biscuits that was used a couple of 100 years ago. The biscuits were so hard, you had to soak it in coffee. No, you're doing a very good job, actually.
Thank you. I'll come and work for you part-time. So this is a
It's
mold of a
custom-made.
spoon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just try to cut. There we go.
And then we just have to load it up and start baking.
It's time to put the spoons to a taste test. A good spoon would be the one that is tasty but doesn't change the flavor of the dish.
So let's start off with the ice cream.
Okay.
Which spoon would you recommend for this?
Strawberry.
Honestly, I don't really taste the spoon.
And that's great because I just want to be able to enjoy my ice cream without its taste being altered.
So we've got bak kut teh soup here.
Yep.
Which spoon would you recommend?
So since it's peppery, let's just go for spicy.
I thought I would be able to taste the spiciness, but not
Give it a
really.
while, yeah.
Oh, give it a while.
Yeah, it has to diffuse through.
But I'm gonna try and do a little bite test.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's still dry on the inside.
A good sign as it doesn't overpower the taste of my bak kut teh.
All right, now the last and final one that we have is simple rice. It's just not as flavorful as it looks to be.
I give it a thumbs down for its taste profile. Baking edible spoons is the easy part. Time for the hard sell. Will Singaporeans shell out $1.20 to swap free plastic cutlery for these pricey pieces?
If you buy before $3.50 and then add on maybe like $4.70, almost $5.
So at the end of the
Not
day, the
every
cost is also something that you are taking into
Yeah.
consideration.
I mean, definitely.
Would you guys consider buying this?
Maybe if you reduce the price of this food, it will be better.
Singapore's love for mouth-watering cuisine has led to another unsavory trend: food waste.
This problem has surged 20% over the last decade. In 2019, we threw out nearly 750,000 tons of food. That's like throwing away 2 bowls of rice per person per day, costing us close to $350 million in wasted food every year. So can we curb this crazy habit? Well, someone thinks so. And he's using tiny insects to take a big bite out of our mountainous food waste.
What is this?
This is actually okara, which is tofu waste.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
And you're going to be using this
To feed the larvae.
The larvae.
In March 2020, Sean Tan quit his job at Enterprise Singapore to become a fly farmer. Yes, you heard me correctly.
So in this whole crate, we actually measured out, a certain number of baby larvae in each of these cups. Correct. So what we do with these bowls is that you actually just dump it into the okara there.
Okay,
Yep.
so over here you can also see the adult larvae.
Correct.
So they eat and eat and eat all day
Correct.
till they become like that.
Correct. Typically, this is about 7 days later. Correct. So you want to try? I have some gloves.
Oh, you have some gloves?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Like one glove. And right after that, after you keep eating, they become this size. Yeah.
Hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Everyone's talk about food security, right? But yet, paradoxically, we also have a lot of food waste. And if you actually try to link up these two problems together, what you have is really this magical fly that is here to actually help you process this food waste into something you can use for animal feed in Singapore.
Sean farms black soldier flies. Their baby larvae are fed with food waste, processed with probiotics. In just 7 days, the plump larvae are harvested and sold as fish and animal feed.
What kind of food waste, right, do you see the most in Singapore?
We see a lot of consumer food waste. That's about 60-70% of what we see. But the thing we're trying to target is really the 40%, which is the pre-consumer food waste, like your brewery grains, okara. There's so much nutrition stuck there. And what we're doing is essentially recycling this back by feeding it to the insects.
How much of an impact would you say you have made in reducing food waste?
So I think we have processed at least about 15 tons of our food waste. Yeah, and this is just an R&D facility, right? What we want is to really eventually build a facility where we're talking about processing at least 150 tons of food waste in terms of either beer grains or okara a day in the next 2 years.
Next, Sean and I visit Tien Hu Fish Farm on the outskirts of Singapore. They source nearly 50 kilograms of live larvae from Sean's insect farm every week.
So this is typically what the fish farms actually use to actually feed the fish.
The larvae are converted to the pellet.
Correct. So typically we have to dry the larvae, reduce the moisture content, and then in the pellet itself, there's other things inside, like soybean, there's other fillers, probiotics.
I love that. Okay, so let's go and check out some fish. I'm sure they are very, very hungry.
All right, let's go. Okay.
Sean currently supplies to only about 4 fish farms in Singapore. With almost 90% of farms yet to be tapped, he tells me that the aquafeed industry is worth 123 billion US dollars. And that means the opportunity is big.
Sean's operation currently is still in the very, very initial R&D stages. A lot needs to be done before they can really scale it up. There's also a lot of different kinds of categories of waste that are currently unprocessed, untapped, like household waste. How can we put that back into the ecosystem and reduce the overall food waste here in Singapore?
While Sean is creating new life from old food scraps, one young lady is on a mission to rescue unwanted fruits and veg.
Free juice! Free juice! Oh, black, you don't want her.
I'm going to discover how ugly can in fact be beautiful. Food waste isn't just about the thousands of tons of food Singapore throws away every day. It's also about perfectly edible produce that never even makes it to our supermarket shelves. All because of how it looks.
This is the phenomenon known as ugly foods.
25-year-old Yo Pei Shan founded Ugly Food in 2017. Her social enterprise rescues ugly-looking produce from suppliers. Otherwise destined for the bin, she transforms them into healthy recipes. Since she started the business, Pei Shan saved over 120 tons of produce.
Then these are heirloom bistic tomato. So those are rejected because of the cracks. That is quite natural.
So these are cucumbers.
What's wrong with these? There's nothing wrong with these.
So according to the supplier, they say it's too small.
Too small?
Yeah, so they have fixed sizes that the supermarket will want to receive. So everything can be standardized. Also has some red chili here. It's actually too curved. So
It's too curved?
Yeah, they prefer straight chili. Little proportion of this damaged item actually go to production. If not, it actually sent to the incinerator plant. So all this is a huge waste of resources. For example, 1 kg of mango needs like 4,000 kg of water to grow.
I did not know that. Oh my
so
god.
it actually needs even more energy compared to no other waste product like paper and plastic.
Our blinding obsession with pert and perfect fruit and veg is clearly a massive waste of resources and money. Can Pei Shan and I help change this mindset?
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's time to hard sell our ugly wares.
We are actually selling them at a discount, right?
Yeah, 40% off.
40% off? Okay, that's insane. The fruits around us are a big competition for us. They all look perfect. So I don't know how this is going to go, but all the best. 40% off. Hi, miss. Hello. Our fruits are on sale today. They may look like this, but they are beautiful on the inside. Would you be interested?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. But it's 40% off. Oh.
One apple.
I think this apple looks better.
The apple looks better.
Yeah, this one also a bit like black, so yeah.
Oh. Hi, miss. Sorry, these fruits are 40%.
Our straightforward approach to selling these ugly fruits isn't working.
40% off.
So we decide to squeeze them into fresh juice. Hoping that customers will realize that ugly or beautiful fruits taste the same.
Free juice, free juice. Hello, yeah, please help yourselves. Try the juice, try the juice. I want to know what you think. What do you guys think? Yeah? So it actually came from the fruits that you see over here. So these are the fruits that are rejected by supermarkets usually. Free juice. Does anyone want some freshly squeezed juice?
You can definitely feel the fibers in there.
Okay. If you step into a supermarket, would you buy this? What? Why wouldn't you buy it?
We would assume that inside it tastes better.
What do you think, Pei Shan, of the experiment that we did today?
I think the change in the method was quite successful and managed to let people to taste it, how they feel about it, like fresh, and changing their mindset.
Honestly, we did change some people's mindsets, but then again, that's like 10 people out of 5 or 6 million people here in Singapore. It comes from, both sides, right? The distributors, the retailers, the consumers, all of them needs to have a mindset shift in order for this to really be effective and for us to stop wasting all this perfectly good fruit. Ugly fruits, ugly but delicious fruits. Does anybody want them? Ugly fruits, I got pomegranate, apples, oranges. They're very, very delicious on the inside. Ugly fruits. Oh, they're ugly on the outside but delicious on the inside. Ugly and delicious fruits for sale. Ugly fruits for sale.